Hi everyone, in this video we are going to discuss the difference between a nuclear explosion and a chemical meltdown. So just to recall, a nuclear explosion is when you're inside of a nuclear reactor and you have your fuel rods that are completely uncontrolled and they're having all these different chain reactions and somehow something terrible has gone wrong and you have a nuclear explosion that is similar to an atomic bomb. Not the same thing, but similar to. A chemical meltdown is usually what we would refer to something where the chemical side point or maybe an operational situation has occurred inside of a nuclear reactor that is caused for an explosion that is more of a chemical side, not a nuclear explosion, okay? So now for this example, what we're going to do in this video is we're going to discuss 3 Mile Island. So 3 Mile Island is the only accident that in the United States that we have actually experienced. And so we have a reactor in Pennsylvania, and in March of 1979, there was a major explosion here. And so I found a little graphic here that I think help explains this a little bit. So let's let it reset just for a second. It's going to the top. Come on, reset for me, please. And so here you go. All right, so look at this middle one. What happened here in 3 Mile Island is that secondary coolant, there was a blockage right here at the bottom. And so what happened is they ended up actually draining a bunch of secondary coolant on accident. So then that happens, when that happens is the primary coolant gets really, really hot. And so at the top, they have to vent it to try to release some of that kinetic energy. Well, what happened then is that the primary coolant, they lost a bunch of coolant, were exposing some of this reactor, the fuel rods here on the left side, which got really, really hot. Okay, so that was really fast. It's a very quick animation, so let's let it reset again. We're going to do it one more time. Look at the center, okay, this middle part, the blue part. This is your secondary coolant. There's a blockage here at the bottom part, and so when they blocked it, they had to try to fix it, and when they did that, they lost secondary coolant. When you lose secondary coolant, primary coolant gets really, really hot. The only way to remedy that is by opening up this top and venting it. What then happened is they ended up losing a bunch of primary coolant, exposing or leaving exposed fuel rods, so they have all these uncontrolled reactions, but really that's not the whole situation. The big issue is that it got really, really hot. And so because they had a loss of coolant, they ended up with what's called a partial meltdown. Okay, and this is the only situation that we've ever had here in the United States. And so in 2002, they did a bunch of studies to go back and actually look at all the people who were exposed to radioactive materials during the explosion. And what they saw is that there was no increase of cancer at all for any American citizens that were exposed to that around here. So we were incredibly lucky that this coolant system or this operator error situation that happened here did not turn into something absolutely terrible. So last question here, true or false? At 3 Mile Island, a nuclear explosion occurred. True or false? At 3 Mile Island, go. All right, did you get an answer? Hopefully you did, because I just wrote it out here right before I asked you the question, but it was definitely a chemical meltdown, not a nuclear explosion. So this is definitely false. So far what we know is Chernobyl was a meltdown, 3 Mile Island was a meltdown, and now we have to discuss Fukushima. Good luck, take care of yourself, drink water.